Tony D and Little Joan with the Screenwriter's Rant on Wild is the Wind, a crime drama set in South Africa about a murder in a small town and two cops assigned to solve it. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's what? It's the Pineys, books 1 through 10, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Got my copies today. Very exciting. A couple things. First off, the guest dog has gone home. I was watching her for relatives. They went to Italy and they got me an Italian Wolverine. So that's kind of cool. I saw also be at Voorhees Halloween Fest tomorrow from 1 to 4. Then at the Devil's Creek Brewery at 5 o'clock in Collingswood, New Jersey. Then on Sunday, I'm at the Harvest Festival in Point Pleasant, New Jersey. The show got canceled from last week due to rain. I think we're good to go on Sunday. So it's going to be a fun holiday weekend. Hope to see you there. The live stream, I may do the live stream on Monday for a Halloween live stream. I'm definitely planning on doing a live stream on Halloween. I may not do one on Sunday. Okay, let's check out this. Last South African movie I looked at, what I didn't think was very good. It seemed to be very preachy about race relations. However, this one is somewhat about race relations, but it seems to incorporate them into a classic plot of murder and betrayal. So you've got the two cops. They're looking for a murderer of this woman in a small town, and she turns out to be the daughter of the mayor, and her ex-boyfriend had a temper. She was going with a black gentleman, and so he's the obvious suspect, and but then it turns into something else. I think that's too obvious a suspect for a movie that's got to be all about twists and turns. For some reason this happens, and then there's another scene where the black cop gets offered money to let it go or frame the boyfriend, I guess, and he tries to convince the white cop to take the money, but I think the white cop figures him out and ends up arresting him. And then here's the black cop screaming at himself because I think he screwed himself. And then racial tensions boil over. There seems to be a lot here, and it seems to be very complex. So I'm liking it. Wild is the Wind. This is from Netflix. I think I got to see this. October 28th. So South Africa, kind of a mess. If you've been following it, I haven't followed it too closely, but race relations, not great. I'm not going to go into it. Please don't lecture me in the comments about South Africa again after last time. I'm just here to talk about the movie. Anyhow, this looks interesting and layered because it's not what you expect, right? The typical Hollywood product, and I think this is coming out of South Africa. The typical Hollywood product would be to say, oh yeah, this is another racial incident where a white man framed a black man and blah, 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 blah. That's the American prism for a lot of different things because we have a different set of race relations than they do in South Africa. In South Africa, it's quite different. So the way I would break it down, the first act, they have to solve this murder, woman's murder, and they start looking into it. And at first it looks very obvious that the victim was killed by her boyfriend. But then as they investigate, it becomes too obvious. They question him. It's clear although he has a motive, he didn't do it. These two start to disagree. I'm guessing the black cop gets pressured by the black gangs or a relative of the black boyfriend who may have been the one to kill her. I don't know. To not investigate or just arrest the white boyfriend, and he takes the bribe because it's so corrupt over there. The white cop uncovers it, turns things around, and it's just. And then meanwhile, there's going to be a big protest and a riot, and it all culminates with, I don't know, looks like it culminates with the black cop being arrested and maybe go into the criminal side, and then maybe they tear apart the town. That's the way I'm seeing it go. It looks cool. Here's the synopsis. Racial tensions and corruption come to head in a small segregated town after the police find the body of a young Africana girl in the bush. Director Fabian Medea, writer Fabian Medea, stars Mathusi Magano and Frank Rotterbach and Chris Chameleon. Yeah, there's an actor name. Chris Chameleon. Wow. Doesn't say. I mean, it definitely looks like it was shot in South Africa. And there's some. The cop is translating some language in the movie. That's usually not a thing Hollywood would do without some subtitles. So I'm sensing this wasn't a Hollywood production at all. Plus, I don't recognize anybody in the movie. So I think this was probably a production in South Africa. And like a lot of things, Netflix picks up the hot properties in foreign countries. And they have been doing that for a while. And it 9 times out of 10, it pays off. I mean, the South Korean stuff, awesome. There was a funny Italian comedy. There was that Norwegian... The Trip that I really liked, a few other things. So my sense of it is, yeah, when it comes to foreign movies, Netflix usually picks some pretty good ones. It's like they're taking all their money and they're skimming the cream of the crop in other countries. Because keep in mind, it's like a lot of those movies, they just don't get distribution in Hollywood. They're not big enough, or Hollywood looks at it and go, well, we could do an art house release maybe. But Netflix, it's a perfect place. They have already got like an automated system for subtitles, or they could just add the subtitles. So, I think there's an excellent chance this is well worth it, and it looks very layered and nuanced. Unlike the bank robber movie, which seemed a little preachy to me, little too flashy. It was about a famous incident, but looked a little too slick. This one looks a little rough around the edges. I like it. I like the cast. They're not all, again, they're not all super handsome. I'll tell you this though, the black actor, he sounds very much like Morgan Freeman. He really does. And in fact, when I first heard the voice, I'm like, is Morgan Freeman's doing a narration here? Because there was like a bit of a voiceover, or some of the dialogue was over a different image. And not everybody in this, I mean, it's like an interesting looking cast. So that's the other thing about foreign movies. Besides the foreign sensibilities that I've talked about, you've got a cast that you don't know who the star is or what. So you don't know who's going to die, right? Anyone could die. Anyone could be the bad guy. Like some actors in Hollywood, they're so big, they don't want to be the villain in anything, right? They don't want to look. They don't want to do certain roles. They don't want to look a certain way. They have an image to maintain across their movies. So they'll only do certain things. And these guys, generally, in foreign films, they don't have that problem or issue or, clause in their contract. Or if they do, you don't know them well enough that you can't anticipate it. Like, you can kind of anticipate that Vin Diesel wouldn't do certain things, right? Now that he's a big star, he runs a big franchise, he's protecting that. You can kind of understand why. Same with Leonardo DiCaprio and a few other big names in Hollywood. Brad Pitt, same thing. These guys, maybe they have those clauses in their contract. I think it's unlikely. I think that's more of a Hollywood thing. I think there's a lot less money involved with foreign movies as well, which is partly the reason why I think the movies sometimes are better. Because there's almost too much money in some of the productions in Hollywood. I mean, look at the tens of millions of dollars they spend on these things. They don't spend that kind of money in these other countries. No way. They can't afford it. They just can't afford it. So they have to do with what they have. And they tend to do things like this, crime dramas, which are, in terms of viability for shooting, they don't require a ton of special effects. The only thing that might require effects would be the shootout, and then maybe you have some stunt coordination, and that's about it. Everything else is just drama. Everything else is just dialogue running around, the investigation, and it's usually fairly gripping. It's easy. I shouldn't say it's easy, but you can make dramas like this fairly gripping with minimal action and shootouts. So something to consider. That's why, like, crime dramas are this is very similar. This is a crime drama, but this is from the cop's standpoint. But like, also crime dramas from the criminal element too. So it has a little bit of everything. It has comedy too. So I like it. I like the look of this. I would totally watch it, and I think I probably will. Not this weekend, though. It's going to be a busy Halloween. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more bass takes. Again, I'm not sure what we're going to do for the live stream on Sunday. I may just jettison it and do one on Monday. I got an idea brewing for a live stream on Halloween. I got to figure some stuff out, but I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to figure that out because I'm going to have such a busy weekend. But I did get book 10 of the Pineys, and I'm so happy. So I'll have them this weekend at my shows. Click the links below if you want to see the shows, and click the link below if you'd like to see the music video I appeared in. And we'll see you in the next one.